What's up guys, my name is Ryan, and this is the beginning of a series I'm making about the FE environmental exam, where I'll be going through some example problems, breaking down some concepts you probably haven't seen in a while, and yeah, just to get you ready for the FE exam. So yeah, I won't babble too long, and we'll get right into the first section, which is the math section. So let's go. Alright, so for this first question I got for you here is this, and as soon as you see something like this, it should trigger you to look in the FE reference handbook. Now, an equation with this form is actually a first order homogeneous differential equation. Yeah, one of those long stupid names, I know. But if you see something in this form with an initial condition like this, you should go check out the FE reference handbook, because it actually has a specific section for something like this. So as you can see, this has the forms something like this, where that is this and that is this. Now, the general solution to one of these questions is actually in the reference handbook, and it's actually y equals ce to the negative at. So for this question, you can see that a is this. As you can see there, it's 8. And the c in this equation is the initial condition that you're given, which is this. So this is a very simple one, where your initial condition is 8 e to the negative 8, 3 e to the negative 8 t. And boom, that's the first question. All right, so for this next one, I got for you a definite integral, very easy one to start off with, but you know, I'm sure a lot of you haven't done integrals like this in a long time. So this one's very simple. 5 cosine of z dz from pi over 2 to pi. So for this one, you can see that we got a constant out here, so we can just move that out front, which will give us something like this. So I'm sure you guys immediately know what the integral of cosine is, and that is sine. So then we solve for that from pi over 2 to pi. Don't forget our little constant out front there. So yeah, you just take your range here, pi over 2 to pi, and you can plug them into sine and just subtract the 2. So this 5 can stay on the outside. You get sine of pi minus sine over pi, or sine of pi over 2. And if you remember your unit circle, classic, this one's real easy. Sine of pi, that's 180 degrees. That'll be 0. Sine of pi over 2, that's on the 90 degree, which is 1. That'll give you negative 5. So that's a pretty easy one there. Just sort of to get you, you know, in that integral solving mindset again, and just kind of how to solve the definite integrals. But very easy. I'm sure you guys can do that in half the time I took. But let's move on to the last one and finish up here. Alright, so for this next one, I got for you some vector math. So the question is, what is the magnitude of the cross product to the following vectors? So we got a cross product. Now again, the FE reference handbook actually has a section on this again, so if you're really ever confused on a question, the FE reference handbook's probably got you covered. So to solve this question, we're going to set up a matrix. So that gives us an IJK matrix like this, which actually equals negative b crossed with a. So when we actually solve for this, negative b is actually I minus j plus k. And then our values that we'll solve for in the actual matrix. So let's put those in there. So for a in this first row is going to be 3i, 2j, no k, so that's 0. B is -1, 2, and -1. So for the column that you're solving for, you actually want to just get rid of that. So if you want to solve for the I, you get rid of the I column, and then you cross multiply the other two columns. So for the first column, that'll give us -2 minus 0. Now when you're actually solving for these, it's always a difference. So the middle here, that's always a subtraction. So for J, we're gonna get rid of the J and cross multiply, which is kind of an awkward thing to draw here, these two. So the first one gives you -3, and then that's 0 minus negative, or times -1, which is 0. So we solve for J there. Now for K, remember, get rid of K and cross multiply the other two, which will give us 6 minus a -2. So what that will leave us with is -2i plus 3j plus 8k. So, but we have to go back to what the question asks, which is what is the magnitude? And that is very simple. So to solve for the magnitude, that is just the square root of each of them squared. So for I, it's -2 squared plus, and you got to add them all together, 3 squared plus 8 squared. And what that will, oh, I just realized this was magnitude, put an E there. And that will give us the square root of 77. So yeah, that wraps up these first three example problems for the math section. I'm gonna try and keep these videos shorter, so in case you have a little free time here and there, you can put on like you could put on this 5-minute video and you know, study for the FE, because what else are you gonna do? But I hope these were helpful a little bit, kind of refresh the memory of how to do some of these problems, but I'll be doing plenty more. But yeah, I hope you found it helpful. See you in the next one.